Hello, welcome to another video and welcome back to another unhaul. So my last unhaul was in April, it is now August. I have read and decided to unhaul quite a few books since then. Also, just going to say now, my neighbours are having building work done. If you can hear any kind of saws or banging or anything, that is what it is. I'm going to try to edit it out like that. But I might not be able to, so sorry if there is random building noise. So first of all, this is going to be an unhaul. I have got a quite large amount of books around me. I don't know how many it is, I haven't counted them up yet. All of my books I unhaul, if they're in near new condition, go on Vinted, link down below. If they are in a good sellable condition, they'll go on, they'll go to a charity shop, but they're not like brand new condition, they'll go to a charity shop. And if they are ARCs or in a slightly more well-loved condition, they will go to a little free library. So all of my books will be going off somewhere. If there are any that you like the look of, comment down below, message me on Instagram, again link down there, and we'll see if I've still got it and can send it over to you. If you do like this video, please leave me a like, subscribe if you'd like to, and yeah, let's get into it. So where am I going to start? When I read a book, I will keep it if it's like a 4 or 5 star. If it's like basically if it's a book that I really enjoy, or if I think I'm going to read it again, it will go onto my shelves. If I think it was good but I don't think I'm going to read it again, which is the case for a lot of like thrillers, mystery, crime, then it will be unhauled. And if it's one that was like less than a 3 star, I just didn't really love it, it's going to be unhauled. Or if it's one that I just think I don't need to keep that in my collection. I want my book collection to be books that I loved and books that I would like to read again. I don't want them just to be kind of like trophies. Which I know a lot of like YouTubers save the books that they didn't like for end of year content, but honestly I would rather get them out of my house and put up like a digital cover, because I just would. So let's get started. I'm going to start off actually with the duplicates, because that's a pile near. So this pile of books here are duplicates. They are what this is in the tin. They are all books that I have multiple copies of for one reason or another. I don't need multiple copies. So we've got The Watches by A.M. Shine. I was sent this one by the publisher. They accidentally sent me 2 copies. I tried to do a giveaway on Instagram, but no one interacted, so didn't get given away. This one, because it was sent to me by a publisher, this will go to a charity shop. Where am I going to put these? I'm going to throw them back on the floor. The Sunrise Sisterhood by Kathy Bramley. Again, this was sent to me by the publisher. They randomly sent me 3 copies. I have kept 1 copy. 1 copy I have given away already, and this is another brand new copy that will be going to a charity shop, because I don't need multiple copies of the same book. Bill Bryson, The Road to Little Dribbling. I really love Bill Bryson. I have this book in hardback. I think I bought this one. I was trying to do this thing where I do like a blind date with a book business like you see on Etsy, but they were all going to be travel themed. Didn't really take off, and so I'm just getting rid of all of the books, because rather than taking up a load of my shelf space. So this one is actually in near perfect condition. Might go on Vinted, might end up in a charity shop. Similarly with Pine by Francine Toon, I own a copy of this one that I would like to read. This one I bought because, again, for that Etsy store, that hasn't happened. So this one will probably end up in a charity shop or on Vinted. The Duke and I by Julia Quinn. This is book 1 in the Bridgerton series. I own all of the Bridgerton series in the very beautiful Illumicrate editions. I don't need this paperback version, so this one will go, probably again charity shop. Illuminate by J. Christoph and Amy Kaufman. This one actually only arrived this morning. I owned Illuminate. I am currently reading Illuminate. I was looking on Vinted for books 2 and 3. And I found the whole series for a £5, which is cheaper than I could buy just books 2 and 3. So I am getting rid of the duplicate copy of Illuminate, which I don't need. And finally, The Secret of the Blood Red Key by David Farr. This is a hardback version that was sent to me by the publisher. They also sent me a paperback version when the paperback came out. I don't need both editions, and I prefer my middle grade in paperback than hardback, so I will be getting rid of the hardback. Very bright. Next, let's go with the DNFs. I've got a few here. Well, I've got 4 here. So first of all, the Sleeping Giants series, The Themis Files by Sylvain Nouveau. I don't know what order these go in. Maybe like that, I don't know. I read Sleeping Giants and I enjoyed it. I started reading Waking Gods. I got maybe 50 pages in and I was bored, unfortunately, and so I just was like, I'm not, if I'm bored at the start of book 2, I'm not going to continue on to book 3, so this series will be going on Vinted. Somebody else, I'm sure, will really appreciate and enjoy those ones. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams. So I've got the full 5-book trilogy of 5. I've read and I enjoyed Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I read Life, the Universe and Everything. I don't think that's the right order. I think Restaurant at the End of the Universe is the second. I read that one and it was fine. I DNF'd book 3, Life, the Universe and Everything. I'm going to have to put them in the right order. It will annoy me otherwise. Yeah, I DNF'd at book 3, so I am unhauling the series. To be totally honest with you, this box set looks like it came from the 1960s. I don't like any of the covers. I don't really like the box set because it is a small mass market paperback size. I bought it in a charity shop. Actually, it was in the charity shop I used to work in, so I might not have even bought it because sometimes they'd just be like, just take it. I'd always put something in the charity box if they did say that, but I'd have spent no more than like £1.50 on this, so someone else I am sure will enjoy this. I hate it with this. A Feather So Black by Lyra Celine. This one is a very stunning Fairy Loot exclusive edition. It is signed. It is very beautiful. I DNF'd this book at, I hadn't even got, I think I was at about 50 pages. I might have got to about, no, I think it's about 50%. I might have got to about page 150. Might not have. I was really bored reading this book. It's just not for me. It's a sort of, I think it's like a Swan Lake retelling. I don't know the original story of Swan Lake, so I don't know if it is the story that I don't enjoy or if it's the writing style or anything, but I did find the writing style quite difficult. It's very purple prose and flowery and not the kind of style that I generally enjoy. And I was a bit bored, really. From memory, all that was happening was once a month they'd go into this other world. They wouldn't really do very much. Then they'd come back and they'd sit in a castle for a month, and then the next month they'd go into the other world. And yeah, it was not for me, which is a shame because this book is stunning. But again, I am sure that there will be someone who will want this copy. And finally, of the books that I've DNF'd, Wild by Amy Jeffs. This is a collection of tales from early medieval Britain. It is signed and personalised. It's such a pretty edition. It's so pretty, but it just, again, I just wasn't really feeling it. The stories were interesting, but they were because they were short stories, they weren't kind of engaging me enough to want to be like, yes, this is what I want to read, and I just got a little bit bored. So this one will be most likely going on Vinted as well. Alright, moving on to the books that I have not read but are just going to be unhauled unread. We've got the Black Wing trilogy by Ed McDonald. I don't actually know where I got these books from. I've not heard anyone ever talk about them. We've got Black Wing, Raven Cry and Crowfall. I don't. Also, strangely, this one has got a tagline by Book Nest, and I'm like, Is that a typo of Beth at Books Nest? Or is there somebody else or like a magazine called Book Nest, which is just coincidental? I don't know. It sounds like an epic fantasy story, but it doesn't sound like one that I'm going to be intrigued by. It's been on my shelves for, I don't know how long, 3 or 4 years, I'm sure. I've never even like tried to pick it up, so goodbye Blackwing. The White Tiger by Aravind Adiga. Again, similarly to some of the other ones, I think I got this one. Actually, I think I got this one from my Reading the World challenge. I haven't read it. I've read another book for India, so this one will go. Also, Rainy Season by Jose Eduardo Aguilusa. This one is by a Angolan author, and for my Reading the World challenge I want to read a book by an author from every country. This is the only Angolan author I found. The book sounds interesting, but I don't think it's one that I'm going to pick up. So if and when I get to Angola, I can always get it out of the library, I can always find it on ebook, I can always buy it again. I don't need it taking up shelf space right now. Then we've got Half of a Yellow Sun by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. Again, same thing. This one is, I think, Nigerian. I have read books by Nigerian authors. This one does sound good, but I don't think it's one that I'm going to be getting to anytime soon. So I can always repurchase, get it from the library, or anything like that if and when I want to read it. And finally, from my like Round the World books, A Death in Tuscany by Michelle Guttari. I don't really know what this is about. It's a Italian murder mystery. Sounds like it could be interesting, but again, I don't think I'm going to be getting to this one anytime soon. Next we've got, and I feel like this is going to be a controversial one, I am unhauling Cemetery Boys by Aidan Thomas. I picked this up because everybody was reading Cemetery Boys. The thing is this has been on my shelves for about 4 years now. I think I got it in about 2020. Yeah, it came out in 2020. I probably did get it around about then. I've never picked it up. I've never even considered picking it up. I'm just not interested in reading this book. The thing is I'm kind of falling out of YA as well, so I have been a bit ruthless with my YA shelves, as you will see. But yeah, this one, I just don't think I'm going to be reading it. And again, like I said, if I do choose to read it in the future, I can rebuy it, I can borrow it from the library. There are other ways I can get hold of it. Similar thing with Boy Queen by George Lester. I just don't think I'm going to read this. It's been on my shelves for quite a while. Every time I look at it, I'm like, oh, that sounds fun. But the thing is I'm never in the mood for reading an oh, that sounds fun YA book. So I just don't think I'm going to get to it. And also One Drop by Peter Kalu. This actually does sound really interesting, and every time, like pretty much in every single unhaul, I pick this one up and then read the synopsis and I'm like, I'm going to keep it. But the thing is I do that. I've probably been doing that with this book for well over a year. And even though every single time I'm like, oh, that sounds interesting, I still haven't read it. So it's just got to go. This one is a dystopian, I believe. It sounds so good, but I just don't think I'm going to read it. But I do think that there will be other people who will enjoy this one. I'm going to come back to my other YAs that I'm getting rid of, but I am also unhauling All the Lonely People by Mike Gale. This one is like a contemporary romance. It sounds very cute. It sounds similar to A Man Called Uva. It follows a widower who tells his daughter lives in Australia. He tells his daughter that he's got friends. He's got lots of friends. Lots of fun, has this perfect retirement. However, he doesn't really speak or see anybody, and when his daughter comes to visit, his whole world is about to be turned upside down. It sounds like it's going to be adorable. the thing is I have so many romances that I'm more excited by. I have so many contemporaries that I am more excited by that I just don't think I'm going to get to this one. Also 30 Days in Paris by Veronica Henry. This sounds like the kind of cutesy romance that I don't particularly enjoy. I like my romance to be kind of spicy, or that it doesn't even actually need to be spicy, but I like there to be tension in my romance. I'll be totally honest, I am a basic bitch. I like TikTok romances, okay? So sue me. This one feels more like your kind of traditional romance, you know, the kind of ones that your mum might read or your gran might read, kind of your Danielle Steele romances. I just don't think I'm going to read it. So that one can go. And then I've got two more from my Round the World titles. I've got 1,000 Years of Good Prayers by Yeon Lee. This is a collection of short stories. I don't really read short stories, and I don't think I'm going to read it. And then I've got Invitation from a Mobster by Juri Ovanyeka. This one I got sent, and I don't really know. It must have come from the publisher. It's an indie published book. I've never heard anybody talk about it. It is so chunky. This book, again, it's indie, and you know how indie books can weigh a lot. This book weighs a metric ton. It's over 500 pages. I've had it for a long time now, and I've never read it. Copyright 22. I thought I had it longer than that. I don't think I'm ever going to read this one. And then finally, I have got two YA series that I am unhauling, and this does slightly hurt. Spin the Dawn and Unravel the Dusk by Elizabeth Lim. These books have been on my shelves for so long and I've never read them. Story of my life here. These editions are absolutely beautiful as well. The thing is, I have read Six Crimson Cranes by Elizabeth Lim, and I didn't enjoy it. To me, it felt like it was YA for a 13-year-old. It felt very young YA, and I feel like Spin the Dawn also might feel like quite young YA. Again, I can always borrow these from the library. I can read them in other ways. They are currently taking up a lot of space on my shelves, and I just don't think that I am going to pick them up. Also, This Savage Song and Our Dark Duet by V. Schwab. I just don't think I'm going to read these. Just don't think I'm ever going to read them. I have a little bit of like a hit and miss relationship with V. Schwab. So I gave Addie LaRue and Gallon 5 stars when I read them. With hindsight, neither of them are 5-star books. I don't remember the plots of either of them, and I think that actually it was a 5-star in the moment for both of them, but realistically, even 6 months down the line, they were not 5-star reads. They probably are both near a kind of 3.5 if I'm truly honest with myself. I read, what is the other ones that I've read? I have read A Dark Shade of Magic, and I liked it, but I felt like I read it too late. I haven't continued the series. I just think that I felt like I'd seen everything in that done already, and not because it wasn't original, but because it was the original, if that makes sense. I read it sort of 7-8 years after it was released, and it's been replicated in so many other YA fantasies that I have read so many of that I just felt like I'd seen it before. I am interested in continuing that series, but I need to be in the right headspace for it. I've read Vicious, which I did really like. I think I gave Vicious either 4.5. I think I gave it a 4.5 stars, and I do want to continue that one. I believe, and I may be wrong, but I believe this is a younger YA series. I just don't think I'm going to get to it. I don't think that it is going to be the series for me. So unfortunately, these ones will go to a better home. They are fairly creased on the spine, but I think I still will probably put them on Vinted. See if we can get anything. Finally, we've got the last big pile, which is the books that I have read. and I either didn't enjoy or I'm not planning on reading it again. So let's go through these, and so I'm going to start on this side. Every Time We Say Goodbye by Natalie Jenner. This one is an ARC copy, so it will go into a little free library. I read this one for work. It's a historical fiction. I won't read it again, so I think it will be one that actually a lot of people will really enjoy, but it's not one that I'm going to pick up a second time. South Asian Folktales, Myths and Legends by Sarah Shafi. This is a very cute middle grade collection of South Asian folktales, myths and legends. I had fun when I read it. I'm not going to read it again. Because it is a series of short stories, most of the short stories, again, it's middle grade, the words are huge on the page. Most of the short stories are about 5 or 6 pages long. It does read like you know, a collection like fables or something does. I think this would be brilliant for someone with a sort of young child, kind of around about 4 or 5, who has bedtime stories but wants something more than picture books. Maybe more like 5, 6 actually. But for me, I'm not in that stage of my life. I'm not going to be reading this one again anytime soon. The Hen Who Dreamed She Could Fly by Sunmei Huang. Oh, this book is so adorable. It is absolutely tinsy tiny, like it's 130 pages long. I had the best time reading this one. I gave it 5 stars. I really enjoyed it. I don't think I'm going to read it again, and I think that I would rather somebody else had that enjoyment again from this book. Similar situation with Kim Ji-young, born 1982 by Chu Nam-ju. I really liked this book. I had a really fun time reading it, but I'm not going to read it a second time, so somebody else can have it. Then got The Dream Builders by Andrila Mukherjee. I read this book for work and I had such a fun time reading it. I mean, you can tell by the amount of tabs. Like, I had a lot of fun with this book. I'm not going to read it a second time. It's not one that I'm going to continue like wanting to pick up a second time, so I will be passing this one on. But I do think this one, I really hope somebody gets this one who really will enjoy it. Then I've got Speak of the Devil by Rose Wilding. Again, this book, I read it for work. This book blew me away. I had such a good time. I loved this book. It's a thriller though. I know the ending. I know the twist. I'm not going to read it again. But what I will say is I'm just going to read you the first line of the synopsis. 7 women stand in shock in a seedy hotel room. A man's severed head sits in the centre of the floor. If that doesn't make you want to read this book, why not? This book is, like I said, fantastic, but I'm not going to read it again, and I really want other people to read it. I have fairly heavily annotated it, but again, I don't think that so I won't be selling this one. This one probably will just go into the little free library. Well, it will, because it's an ARC, so it will definitely go into the little free library. But I hope that someone will enjoy my annotations. I had to annotate it because I was trying to solve the mystery, and it was... Next, 2 more books that I read for work. We've got The Wrong Sister by Claire Douglas. Again, a thriller. I've read it. I know the twist. I'm not going to read it again. And also The Revenge of Rita Marsh by Nilesha Chauvet. Again, I've read it. I know the twist. I'm not going to read it again. These 2 are both art copies. They will go to a little free library. Both of these ones are really interesting thrillers, and I think that there will be a lot of people who have a really fun time with these ones. I think, to be fair, there are a lot of thrillers that I do this with that I read and then I will unhaul, not because I don't enjoy them, but because once I've read the twist, I'm not going to read it a second time, so I don't need to keep the book. I am going to be unhauling Starbaker by Andrew Michael Hurley. This one, I'm kind of in two minds about, to be totally honest. So this one, me and some friends from work read it together. Well, actually, my friend Jen voice noted us 10 pages every night. So like she basically read this book to us. And it was such a lovely experience. I did enjoy the book. I think I gave it maybe a 3.5. Just realised all of the bones are raised. That's really creepy. I enjoyed it, but I enjoyed the experience more than I enjoyed the story. So I am in two minds about whether I want to keep this one or not, but at the moment it is an unhaul. Jack Jordan, again, this one is an art copy. I read this one, I had a good time reading it, but I won't read it again, so it can be passed on. My little free library is going to be full of thriller arcs, so that's great. Let's try that again. The Three Body Problem by Shisen Liu. This is one that I read for work. It is a very intense sciencey sci-fi. I enjoyed it. I think I gave this one maybe 3.5 stars. I had as good a time as I could have with this one. This one is so science-based that it needs a lot of brain energy, and I don't have the brain energy to read something that is so scientific. I don't intend to continue on with the series. However, I did watch the Netflix series. I did enjoy that. I will continue watching that. But yeah, this one for me, I think somebody else is going to be very excited to get this one. It's just not one for me. We've got The Man Who Died by Antti Tuomainen. This one is signed and personalised. I didn't really like it. It's a Finnish thriller, and I just didn't connect with any of the characters in this one. It's about this guy who has been slowly being poisoned for multiple years. And he finds out that basically all of his organs are about to go into organ failure, so there's nothing that anyone can do. He can't get any transplants, there is no treatment. He has been slowly being poisoned for so many years that like there's nothing, he's going to die soon. And so then he puts all of his energy into his mushroom farm business, and it's basically all about mushrooms, and it just didn't hit for me, so this one can go. Next, and I'm really sad about this, The Idea of You by Robin Lee. I didn't really like it. Yeah, didn't really like it. This has been on my shelves for a long time. It's been a 5-star prediction. I think it was Kaylee at Bookworm Escapes who was obsessed with this book and was like, oh my god, you have to read it. And so I was like, yes, okay, I trust your opinion, I am reading this book. It just didn't hit. It just didn't hit for me. And I can't really like verbalise why it didn't hit. It just didn't, unfortunately. So yeah, The Idea of You is going. But again, I do think that someone's going to be very excited that they can get their hands on that one. I've then got a collection of Jacqueline Wilson books. So as you may know, I've been doing my Jacqueline Wilson reread across a variety of Jacqueline Wilson books. So I've got 5 here that I'm unhauling. First off, no surprise to anyone if you've seen it like this vlog or the TikTok that I did on this one, Love Lessons. I hated this book. I gave it 1 star. I really didn't like it. I actually found it offensive, and with that, I don't know what. I'm probably going to put this one in the little free library, and I think I'm going to, like, on a post-it, write a sticky note in there saying like what my issues are with it, just to kind of educate whoever picks it up. But didn't like it. Best Friends. This one was really cute. I liked it, but I never read it as a child. I have no nostalgia to it. It was just cute, so I am going to be unhauling this one because I think somebody else will enjoy it. Lily Alone. I did really like this one, other than the ending. The ending made me sad. But I liked Lily Alone. It was really nice, but again, I just don't think that I'm gonna reread it or want to keep it for any future children or anything like that. The Diamond Girls, again, I didn't love this one, and I think the reason I didn't love this one is I hadn't read it when I was younger. If I had, I might have had a different opinion, but I didn't really like the mother in here, and then the ending made me sad. Cookie, very cute, enjoyed it, but again, I think that somebody else will like it more. I think really my feeling with Jacqueline Wilson books there is that I don't have the sense of nostalgia with any of them. So there's none of them that were either 5-star new favourites, or that I was like, I'm going to want to read this again. I'm going to want to pass this on to children. I'm going to want to, even if that is just like my niece, you know. None of them kind of gave me those vibes. 2 more books left. These Hollow Vows by Lexi Ryan. This one came in a Fairy Loot box quite a long time ago. I read it when it came, like it has been sat on my shelves for years as a read book. 2021, I think this came in a YA box. In my opinion, this is an ACOTAR retelling. It's very, very similar to ACOTAR, and I just didn't love it because it was trying to be it was so similar to ACOTAR that I didn't love it, if that makes sense. So I do think that someone will be very excited to get that one. And finally, another Fairy Loot book, A Curse of Blood and Wolves by Melissa McTernan. This is a very, very beautiful edition. This came in the Fairy Loot Romantasy box, and I didn't like this book. It's a wolfy romance. I don't really like wolfy romances. I gave this one 2 stars. I just didn't click with it. To be totally honest, it was mainly because of the wolfy aspect. I just don't like wolves. So that is my rather large unhaul. I'm going to count up my books and I'll come back to you and let you know how many. So that was 56 books, and because I am nothing if not someone who has to work with round numbers, I've got 4 more books here to make it up to a nice round 60. I will be unhauling Crazy Rich Asians by Kevin Kwan. This book wasn't what I thought it was going to be. I started reading it. I thought it was going to be like a YA kind of fun little book similar to All the Boys I Loved Before. It's not. It's a multi-generational adult contemporary. Not really keen on that. Legendborn by Tracy Dion. This is on my unhaul pile, like this is on my self-destruct pile. I just don't think I'm going to read it. And if I do decide to read it at some point, I will get it another way. And also We Were Liars and Family of Liars by E. Lockhart. I don't think I'm going to read these. I don't really know very much about them, but I just don't think I'm going to read them. So that's added to the pile. That is 60 books that I have unhauled. I'm actually really happy about that. I do love doing an unhaul. I just love being able to kind of clear some space and feel like a little bit freer. Like, to be honest, with Always, my unhaul pile will start growing again straight away because, like I've been saying already, any book that I just don't love or I don't think I'm going to read again, don't want to keep for whatever reason, does go into an unhaul pile. But my next unhaul will be at the end of the year. I have already got ideas for what I'm doing for that one, and I'm already nervous. But if you did like this video, please do give me a like, subscribe, and drop a comment down below. Let me know if there's any books that you think I shouldn't have unhauled. And let me know what you do with the books that you read. Are you someone who keeps everything as trophies? Do you unhaul everything you've read? Do you only keep favourites? Let me know. Tell me. Let's have a chat. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.